What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I'm your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode 128. Yes, 128, everybody. Hopefully, everybody had a beautiful day today. Now, this video is going to be pre-recorded because I'm out of town. I'm out of town for work because, hey, I got to do what the money say. But we cannot miss a day. We cannot miss a day. That is why. Because we meet Monday through Friday, starting from between 6 and 7. So always going to be between then. Now, occasionally I might have to miss a show, but it will always be made up. But we meet Monday through Friday, usually going over four topics where I found that we need to discuss together. Something that popped up on my recommended that seemed wild, and some of these things make me lose faith in humankind, but hey, these are stuff we got to review because the world is a crazy place, and that's how we move forward. Now, it is February 11th, 2020. I was getting a little confused. It's February 11th, 2026, year of our Lord, and it's Wednesday, hump day. Yes. We are halfway through the week now, but that still means we got a lot of stuff that we need to review. Now, the first topic we're going to be discussing today is we got to go over we got a rapper who live streamed a crazy situation. We got a rapper who ended up live streaming while he was being arrested by a SWAT team. So we got a few videos to look at, and of course we'll go over the AI breakdown, but then let's get over into it and see what we can learn from this situation. It's always a crazy situation, but this is why we got to look at this stuff. Well, let's jump into it.
SWAT members, they arrested a man after a standoff that lasted all night long. That man is a rapper with hundreds of thousands of followers. And get this, he live streamed the standoff. Yeah,
CBS News Miami's Morgan Vine is your reporter in Plantation Live this morning. And Morgan, you spoke to a family member and they kind of gave you some background as to what led up to this.
Yeah, the family told me they've been trying to get the rapper help for days. As a matter of fact, before the barricaded standoff that he live streamed, he posted on social media leading up to that, talking and showing the moment that welfare officers came here to check on him. He told those welfare officers that he was God. There's another video where he's filming the clouds over his house, and he believes that the clouds were spying on him. So this was clearly, the family says, a case of someone who desperately needed help. I'm going to step out of the way now so Brian can show you some of the aftermath from the barricaded situation. You can see the garage door and the car there that were pulled out. That happened towards the end of the standoff. Just to the left of that, you'll see that all of the glass in the front of the home, that was shattered. And as we've been mentioning, this whole barricaded standoff, it was filmed on his live stream.
Please save me, y'all. Please, I'm begging y'all. I don't got none, y'all. I don't want to harm nobody, y'all. They bothering me, man. What y'all trying to kill on national TV, y'all? That cold? I don't got none.
The man has more than 738,000 followers on Instagram, and at one point 20,000 people were watching as he barricaded himself inside of the home. He's a rapper who had a hit song back in 2015 called Hit the Quan. His home is on the 8600 block of Gatehouse Road in Plantation. Plantation police said SWAT and CRT were on scene, and throughout the live stream, he talks about not wanting to die on the live stream. He says he doesn't have a gun, and at one point he talks to a dog, saying he's not tired and he's not going to sleep. You can see towards the end of the live stream that he is crouched down in the garage, and you can see the moment SWAT makes their way in to arrest him around 2:50 this morning.
My hands up!
What are they? How are they?
Don't kill me, my hands up! My hands up! No!
Plantation police said that there were no injuries throughout this whole standoff, but that the suspect was taken to an area hospital for evaluation. There was also a dog in the house at the time that all of this was happening. That dog was safely taken out of the home, given to family. Family told me they're just so happy he is getting the help that he needs.
That's a crazy situation. You see how whatever they use to knock over the Tesla is crazy. But let's go over into this next video, see if they tell us anything different.
Off the top at noon, a home in Plantation left in shambles. This is the aftermath of an hours-long SWAT standoff. Good afternoon, I'm Naja Sherman. We have learned this standoff involved a rapper known as I Heart Memphis. His real name is Richard Cobert, and he live streamed the incident as he barricaded himself inside the home. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner is your reporter live in Plantation. Morgan, you spoke to family, and they say they're relieved he was arrested.
Yeah, Naja, that's because this morning's arrest means that the rapper is finally getting the help that he needs. Family told me they've been trying to get him help for days. And you can tell by the damage behind me, it was no easy task to get to him.
Richard Maurice Colbert, or as fans know him, I Heart Memphis, had a hit song, Hit the Quan. Hit the Quan, hit the Quan. It made it to Billboard's top 15 songs in 2015. It had a viral dance that teens across the country posted. I said get down low and hit the Quan. But videos the rapper started posting in the last 72 hours were disturbing. Family told me he's been acting erratically for several days now.
Clouds aren't supposed to be moving, you idiots.
Videos he posted on Instagram to his 740,000 followers indicate he was paranoid, claiming his neighbors were spies and blocking the windows inside of the home.
I don't have to sleep. That's when y'all try to reset me. I'm AI.
Now this sounds more. It sounds like a very wild mental illness. It sounds like schizophrenia or something like that. Thinks everybody's spying on you. Get paranoid a lot. Start seeing things.
I'm not dumb. Now what you want? What's the next question?
He filmed the moment welfare officers came to check on him.
I'm God. What the? Sleep for a stupid idiot. I'm AI.
But family told me it wasn't until he started posting threats during a live stream that ultimately police were able to get a warrant to enter the home.
Please. Please save me, y'all. Please, I'm begging y'all. I don't got none, y'all. I don't want to harm nobody, y'all. They bothering me, man.
He barricaded himself inside of the home for hours as thousands of people tuned in, including his own neighbors.
But other neighbors found the Instagram Live and were showing it to me. And then I just heard the cops literally all night, come outside, put your hands up, drop the gun, we're here to help you, we're not going to harm you.
People were saying, just turn yourself in, man. You know, I pray for you, this and that.
You can see towards the end of the live stream that he is crouched down in the garage, and you can see the moment SWAT makes their way in to arrest him around 2:50 Tuesday morning.
My hand up. No. My hand up.
And back out here live, you're looking at just some of the damage that is left over. Plantation police said that there were no injuries, but they did take Colbert to an area hospital to evaluate him. I'm live in Plantation, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Mental illness can be very scary. Mental illness can be very scary, and anybody who's going through it should go seek help as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little more information. So we got the Tennessee rapper I Heart Memphis, best known for his song Hit the Quan, 2015. Yeah, that was senior year of high school. I remember when that came out. Was arrested on February 10th, 2026, following a tense hours long SWAT standoff that he live streamed on Instagram. This happened in Florida, Plantation, Florida, where they got an active warrant for electronic threats to kill. During the encounter, which peaked around 3 a.m., the stream, which had over 20,000 people in it, he appeared erratic, claiming that he was God and that the clouds were stalking him. SWAT teams eventually breached the garage to apprehend him. No injuries were reported, but he was transported to the local hospital for a mental health evaluation. Yeah, 100%. He has to be taken to the hospital. That sounds like some kind of like schizophrenia or something like that. So police first arrived for the initial welfare check on Monday, February 9th, after the family member reported him having a mental episode. It lasted until around 3:45 a.m. They breached the home. Tactical units reportedly used a Tesla vehicle to smash through the closed garage door. Video footage later showed the garage door ripped and shattered, and the vehicle turned on its side. Throughout the night, where he broadcasted over 20,000 people, he displayed erratic behavior, delusional claims, distress and paranoia, presence of a weapon. He was taken into custody with an active warrant talking about the electronic threat to kill. According to the county jail, he is facing a felony for intimidating threats to kill and a misdemeanor for resisting an officer without violence. Following the arrest, he was hospitalized for a psychological evaluation. His dog was safely removed and returned to the family members. Yeah, this sounds like some kind of like schizophrenic episode, outburst, something mentally wrong. I'm glad he was taken in without hurting himself or others. People, be aware of your mental state. People need to be aware of their other family members that are going through hard times and notice these types of behaviors, because if somebody wouldn't have noticed, he could have done something crazy and terrible. It was a wild scene, but it's crazy that it was caught on live stream. But that's the age we live in now. That is the age we live in now. Let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. But we're going to pivot over into the next topic we're going to be discussing today, and we're going to go over into the 2021 acid attack. Yes, 2021 acid attack, where it sounds like somebody has been arrested for it. Attacking someone with acid is one of the craziest acts of violence that I can think about. But let's go into it. We got a few videos to look at, and of course we'll go over to the AI breakdown just to see anything else we can learn. But let's get into it.
Hey, Terrell, you got anything to say?
Okay, so we know that's the suspect going in.
And I cannot emphasize enough incredible efforts. I'm here this morning to announce that after nearly 5 years, through the incredible efforts of our Nassau County Police Department, and I cannot emphasize enough how hard the Nassau County Police Department worked with us on this case.
Let's go to the next video. We'll definitely get a different view of it.
With that attack, it's an attack that stunned the city. A young woman in her driveway on Long Island when someone approached from behind and tossed acid into her face.
It left Nafia Ikram disfigured and in constant pain. Her family every year asking for the public's help in finding her attacker. Their pleas finally answered. Now, Terrell Campbell, an aspiring rapper, faces several charges.
Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman is live in Mineola with the breaking developments. Lindsay?
Yeah, Sandra, David, it's been almost exactly 5 years, and now there finally has been an arrest made in this case that has been really so upsetting for people here in Nassau County. And now that young woman, that Hofstra student, finally does have some answers after that arrest was made and the suspect was arraigned today. And we were there to learn more about what happened and hopefully get some answers about why this brutal attack happened. Police brought in 29-year-old Terrell Campbell into a county courthouse just about an hour ago. He was wearing a giant red winter coat when he was brought in, and when we tried to talk to him, he did make no remarks to reporters, but he did plead not guilty to 2 counts of assault in the 1st degree, criminal possession of a weapon in the 4th degree, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a noxious weapon. Now, this attack, you may recall, happened back in 2021. It was a brutal attack involving sulfuric acid. It was on March 17th. Surveillance video shows a hooded attacker attacker run up behind Nafia Ikram. She was 21 at the time in her own driveway in Elmont. And shockingly, you see him throw sulfuric acid in her face and then drive away. Now in court today, prosecutors say it took years, as we all know, some long years to even identify the suspect. But once they did, they figured it out through a car seen in surveillance video and tied it to the Brooklyn resident. Eventually, they found his search history from the night of the attack, which included questions that he Googled about sulfuric acid being cleaned up and injuries from it. We also found out he is an aspiring rapper with a song on YouTube where he says, quote, "Try and run up and have your face burned in acid." It's for those reasons that an arrest was finally made. Now, Ikram, who was in the courtroom with her family today, suffered severe injuries in the attack, and she still struggles with poor vision in her right eye and scarring on her face. And her attorneys say she has also suffered emotional trauma since the attack. Now, Campbell was held without bail. The judge decided to remand him to jail, and he has another court appearance next week. We are right now outside police headquarters, where police are just speaking now about the case and the further investigation. We are going to hear from Ikram's family as well. The investigation is still ongoing, though, as there are still some questions. Even though we do have this arrest, which is a relief for many here in Nassau County, one question remains, and that is, why did this man target this young woman? Live.
Absolutely. This man splashed her, threw acid in her face, and then made a rap song about it. This is the world we are living in. Demons walk among us, and then they'll sing about it, rap about it on the internet. Let's go over to this next video just to get more about what we know about this whole situation.
After nearly 5 years, an arrest has been made in that terrifying acid attack that left a Long Island college student permanently scarred.
Back in March of 2021, Nafia Ikram was attacked in her own driveway in Elmont when a hooded man threw a cup of acid in her face and then sped off. The injuries were devastating, burning her throat and leaving her blind in one eye. Now prosecutors say they have identified the suspect. Carolyn Gussoff has covered this story from the very beginning and just spoke with the victim. She joins us live now from Elmont. Carolyn?
Jessica and Christine, it's what prosecutors call one of the most vicious and barbaric acts ever to take place in Nassau County. And tonight they say they've solved at least part of the mystery. They say they now know who threw acid in the face of Nafia Ikram in her driveway behind me 5 years ago, but they still do not know why. A flower delivery worker from Brooklyn, 29-year-old Terrell Campbell, brought to court where he pleaded not guilty to assault, weapons, and noxious materials charges. Prosecutors say he is the hooded man in this 2021 surveillance video who threw acid in Nafia Ikram's face as the then 21-year-old returned home from work.
Finally, we believe this almost 5-year-old mystery has been solved. Campbell thought he got away with it. He bragged on the internet for everyone to see, but he could not have been more wrong.
The break in the case came late last year through a tip leading cops to Campbell, a red Nissan Altima parked in front of his home, matching the car that's been sought for years. Law enforcement then uncovered what they call shockingly incriminating web searches.
Minutes following the 2021 attack, we found searches asking, how do I remove sulfuric acid from my car's fabric?
Prosecutors say he not only searched about the crime, but the aspiring rapper also sang about it, a song entitled Obsidian.
On the street in the night like a hitman assassin. Try to run up and have your face burning acid.
Obsidian means hot lava that comes from a volcano. It's sickening, it's cruel, and it's brazen.
Have anything to say for yourself? Campbell said nothing. Ikram says she has mixed emotions, still processing the shock of the arrest after enduring dozens of surgeries, skin grafts, and vision loss in one eye. The agony of not knowing who did this for years.
I hope that things come to light. I did have my tears of joy yesterday, for sure.
We took a lot of heat over the last 5 years. Oh, you're not doing enough. The police department's not doing enough. Know this. The Nassau County Police Department never gives up on their victims.
But today, there is relief and thanks.
I want to take this opportunity to thank every single person, every single prayer.
And And officials say the investigation is not over. They're still looking into whether or not Campbell was paid for this act and by whom. And they say that more arrests are possible, but there is not a lot of time left. There is a 5-year statute of limitations. Reporting live from Elmont, Long Island, I'm Carol.
There's a statute of limitations on throwing acid in someone's face. I did not know that. I did not know that at all. That is crazy.
Carolyn Guzhoff, back now to you.
And Carolyn, you've been covering every development in this case for 5 years. The arrest taking that long to happen. There was a huge reward offered. What could you tell us about that tonight?
There really was, Jessica, an extraordinarily high reward, $50,000. And police made it a point today to say that this case finally broke because of cooperation from the public. In other words, a tip or multiple tips came in. And the police commissioner did say that somebody will be collecting on that reward, but he won't give us any more details.
Neighbors coming together to help finally solve this. All right, Carolyn, thank you.
This is a crazy world we live in. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to see if we can find out anything else. But this is a crazy situation. Let's get into it. Let's jump into it. So, nearly 5 years after the brutal 2021 acid attack on a student, Nafia, authorities have arrested a charge of suspects. So Terry Campbell, 29, Brooklyn, was arrested and indicted on February 10th, 2026, and he faces charges of second-degree assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and unlawful possession of a neurotoxic material. Campbell pleaded not guilty and is currently being held without bail. If convicted, he faces up to 25 years in prison. So Campbell, the inspiring rapper known as Young Based Prince, I might be saying that wrong, but it doesn't matter, allegedly released a music video for a song titled Obsidian in 2023 that referenced burning someone in the face with acid. So 2 years after he said, yeah, I did this, so I might as well use it in a lyric, use it in a song. So prosecutors revealed that he performed online searches minutes after the attack for sulfuric acid remover and how to remove sulfuric acid from the car. And then a red Nissan Altima registered to his address was identified as the getaway vehicle fleeing the scene. So on March 17th, she was ambushed in her Long Island driveway, and the assailant threw sulfuric acid on her face, causing severe burns to her face, eyes, throat, and leaving her permanently scarred. Despite the arrest, a specific motive has not yet been established, and the victim stated she does not know the suspect. But then they made a good point at the end of the video, asking that it's a possibility that he was paid to do it. Could it be someone she was intimately involved with? Or is it just a case of there are horrible people in the world and they don't care and it's who they hurt and they just hurt random people? Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a terrible world sometimes, and terrible things can happen in it. But this is why we got to review this stuff, and we got to know how to move and look after the people around us. Sometimes it will help, sometimes it won't. But I guess that's that's life in itself. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with me. We're going to pivot now into the third topic we're going to be discussing today. And we got, I believe a woman was killed outside of an elementary school. It's just, some locations aren't safe. They don't care. Wherever it happens, it happens. But we got a few videos like always that we'll look at, and then we'll go into the AI breakdown of this whole thing. So let's get into it. Let's get into it.
All right, thank you for that, Tracy. And we heard her talking about the staffer that alerted authorities that there was an issue that happened outside of that school using one of those panic buttons. And there had been a lot of conversation about those panic buttons and how important that they were in schools in the event there was ever an active shooter, in the event there was ever a threat to the school. While we haven't seen those used a lot in our area, today is a prime example of where that did come in handy for those staffers who were there at the school, the faculty there at the school, to be able to notify authorities that there had been an issue and that there potentially was a threat.
And let's go over to the next one.
We have just learned a suspect is now in custody after a woman who was shot and killed outside Palmetto Elementary School.
We first broke this story for you on 11 Alive Plus, and we've been streaming the latest updates all day. And just in the last 30 minutes, Fulton County Schools Police confirmed that this is the shooting suspect, Christopher Ates. He was arrested in Helson County, about 2 hours south of Atlanta. Marissa Sarback joining us live from outside of that school. Marissa, what are you hearing from the district?
Jennifer, Ron, we have also learned that this was a domestic dispute incident that they say spilled over onto school grounds. Now, we don't know who the victim is yet, but we do know that shooting happened here just steps outside the front of Palmetto Elementary School earlier today. Now, take a look. This is footage from those more than 500 elementary schoolers being evacuated by bus and escorted by law enforcement around noon today. That was to Bear Creek Middle School after officials believed it was finally safe to transport them. The district tells us all kids are safe. They've been picked up by their parents from that nearby middle school, or they were brought home by bus after that evacuation. We actually spoke with some of those parents at the evacuation area. Take a listen.
I didn't know what was going on. When they told us it was a shooting, they just said it was a shooting. They didn't say it was in the parking lot. They didn't say nothing. We didn't know if they was in there. We didn't know nothing. I was scared. I don't know. These my, you know?
I don't know what was going on, but obviously that's not my type of carrying on. I just want these kids to be safe, you know, in the environment or whatnot, and they have to do better. That's how I feel.
A very scary situation for so many of the families that were here at Palmetto Elementary School earlier today and couldn't reach their kids, and for those who went to Bear Creek Middle School to pick up their children. Now, we also just received a copy of the principal's letter that went out to all of those families at the end of the day today. They detailed that domestic dispute, also saying that there will be school tomorrow for the kids that attend Palmetto Elementary. There will, however, be resources and counselors there for any of them that need to talk. Reporting live in Fulton County, Marissa Sarback for 11 Alive News.
I've said this plenty of times. You have to be careful who you get into an intimate relationship with, men and women. But let's go over into this next video.
Telling parents who, I mean, it's totally their instinct. Something like this happens, go to where your kids are. Go to the school. Law enforcement on scene has to ask parents to stay back, to let the first responders have the space they need to make sure that everybody is safe. I think we're getting the thumbs up here. We do have part of your interview, Marissa. We're going to play that right now.
It makes me feel better. Yeah, I do feel a little bit better.
So your next move is to go to Bear Creek?
Oh yeah, yep.
So scoot back to your truck and then.
Yes,
I'll
definitely.
All right. What would you want? I mean, like knowing that this happened though.
More security. This is Fulton County. I mean, even in Cobb County, more security. Like, you know, like when something like this happens, we're all blocked off. All the parents can't even get to our kids. So now I'm like nervous. You know, I can't even think straight. So.
How did you hear this news?
Through my email.
Your email. What did the email say, if you don't mind?
It just was saying that the school was on lockdown, and it didn't give me any information or anything like why. And then that's when I looked on the Nextdoor app, and it was on there.
And what time did you get that email?
About 20 minutes ago. So when did this happen?
I mean, I think they were waiting to see what was happening before they sent out any communication.
And you have a kid in the school?
Yes.
What grade?
First.
So you jumped on your e-bike? Tell us about that.
I'm not playing. Yeah, about mine. So, yeah, I couldn't fit my truck through there.
Were you able to go in front of the school and take a look and see anything at all?
No, that's what I was headed to do, but then I got stopped. Yeah.
What goes through your head when you get an email like that?
And you can see that mom was stopped exactly where we were stopped, so she couldn't get any further. At that point, she didn't know the school was on lockdown from that email she says she received from the district. But you can just kind of hear her processing that with us, of realizing that she sent her children or her child off to school this morning like so many other parents, about 500 kids here in the school when this happened this morning. everything, and just a fear takes over, and you don't know what's going on, and you can't get to the school to pick up your child. You're told by the district and by law enforcement the school's under lockdown, but you can't come forward. You can't get any closer. So a really difficult situation.
Now here's a question. Should the school give more information in their initial email that they sent out, or would that cause too much of a panic? Or are they entitled to even give more? Well, I think they are entitled to give more information eventually, but should it be right away that they give all the information of what happened? Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to see if we missed anything. So on February 10th, Ebony Anderson, 34, was shot and killed outside of Palmetto Elementary School in Palmetto, Georgia. The incident occurred near the school's front entrance, triggered a hard lockdown, and the subsequent evacuation of more than 550 students to a nearby middle school. So Ebony was a parent of a student in Fulton County School District, though her child did not attend Palmetto Elementary. Police arrested Christopher Atlas, I think that's how you say Addis, 39, in a Houston County following a high-speed chase and a vehicle crash. He's facing charges including cruelty to children and reckless driving, with an additional murder warrant expected. According to the letter sent to the families by the principal, law enforcement believes the shooting stemmed from a domestic dispute. No student or staff member were physically harmed during the shooting, and the school resumed classes the following day with increased security and counseling support for the community. Now, it's a crazy situation, and it all stems from most likely a domestic dispute. You got to be careful who you involve yourself with. That's the main point of this. You have to be careful. Luckily, no one was hurt. Luckily, no student was hurt. But this can happen anywhere. Schools. And people do not care. Now, let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Yeah, be careful. That's at the end of the day, just be careful. Because everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. Now we're going to pivot over into the last topic we're going to be discussing today, where we're going to go over. We got to go over into this something you wouldn't expect coming back from vacation, but we got a family whose dog was killed while they were out on vacation. Now, and not by the staffers. It doesn't seem like, it seems like by another dog. So let's go over into it. We got a video and then we'll do an AI breakdown. Let's go over into see what we can make of this whole situation. Let's jump into it.
Tonight, a family in Fountain is grieving the death of their two dogs at a local boarding facility. The family tells me they were on vacation when they learned that news. Now, they want to make sure it never happens to anyone else.
The Gomez family's home videos show their 11-year-old Yorkie Jax playing with his much bigger sister, Waya, a 1.5-year-old Belgian Malinois.
Okay, come on.
There is Rosie, too, their 7-year-old Shih Tzu.
Okay. Oh.
On November 13th, 2025, the family says they boarded all 3 dogs at the Boardmore Pet Resort off I-25 in Fountain. They were on vacation when they say they got a call 2 days later from the owner of Boardmore Pet Resort saying Jax and Rosie had been killed by another dog at the facility.
I asked him what happened, and he took the blame, both over the phone and in person. You know, he said, "I'm sorry, I wasn't here. I didn't lock the kennels. Dogs got out, and it was an accident."
When the family went to pick up the surviving,
would you accept that? Would you accept it? Or would you want to be, I don't know if compensated is the right word, or, yeah.
Dog and the bodies of the 2 others.
He said, "I'm a mess." And I said, "You don't get to be a mess." And that was it.
I called the facility to learn more about what happened, but when I identified myself on the call, the person who answered hung up. So I sent an email to the address listed on the website. When I did not hear back, I went to the facility directly. Owner Daniel O'Sullivan would not talk with me on camera, but told me the dogs' deaths were an accident.
He told me he forgot to add an extra lock on the latch to the kennel where the 3 Gomez dogs were boarded together and they got out. He said the 2 smallest dogs were attacked and killed by a bully breed dog that had been boarded there for months. He said the bully was in a locked kennel, but says she banged her body against the kennel door so hard it twisted the lock and loosened a bolt on it, allowing the kennel door to open.
We were the only family that they ever had, and we failed them, taking them to Boardmore because they didn't take care of them.
Why are you taking the blame for this?
Because I had faith in them and I shouldn't have.
2 days after the dogs were killed, animal law enforcement issued a summons to Boardmore Pet Resort owner Daniel O'Sullivan for unlawful ownership of a dangerous dog, a Class 2 misdemeanor.
A spokesperson for Colorado's Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act program, which licenses boarding facilities in the state, also tells me within days of the deaths of the 2 dogs, they received multiple complaints about that facility. The spokesperson says another complaint came in recently too, but she would not share details of that complaint, saying the case was under investigation. She also told me the facility had a failed inspection in June, but could not discuss it.
But the Gomez family says they will not be happy until the facility is shut down by the state.
These dogs were our family.
They were your family.
They really were.
Court documents we have show O'Sullivan appeared in court on January 5th and was advised of his charges. His next court appearance is February 9th. An attorney told me if convicted, O'Sullivan, that is, could spend up to 120 days in jail. So what's being done to make sure this never happens again? Well, the owner tells me he's working with animal control to develop a better lock system. We'll be sure to...
Now, let's go over into the AI breakdown to see what we think. But tell me your thoughts, y'all. Do you think he should be, how much do you think you're fine with the time that he gets? 120 days, is that enough time? Is that too much time? Let's go over into it. So as we know, where is it at? This one, yep. So in November, a tragic incident occurred at the Boardmore Pet Resort in Fountain, Colorado, resulting in the deaths of 2 small dogs, an 11-year-old Yorkie named Jax and a 7-year-old Shih Tzu named Rosie, while their owners, Veronica and Ray Gomez, were on vacation. The facility owner stated that he forgot to secure a second latch on the kennel. A larger dog reportedly escaped the kennel by damaging the lock and attacked the small dogs. A third family dog, a Belgian Malinois, survived the incident. So there was 3 dogs there. 2 died and 1... The owner was charged with unlawful ownership of a dangerous dog and faces a court hearing in early 2026. A state program, Pet Animal Care and Facilities Act, is investigating the facility. The facility failed a state inspection in 2025 of June 2025. Let's see. The Gomez family is seeking the permanent closure of it. Let's see. Any more? And more about the court proceedings. See if they have any more information about the court proceedings, which probably they don't. Court proceedings for Daniel O'Sullivan, the owner of Boardmore, are currently active in the Colorado judicial system. He had his initial hearing on January 5th, 2026, where he was formally advised of his charges. The next appearance is scheduled for February 9th, 2026. Updates from the specific hearing are expected to be clarified if the case will move forward a plea agreement or trial. If convicted, he is of the Class 2 misdemeanor. He will be charged with face up to 120 days in jail. It's a tragic situation. How would you feel about that whole situation, y'all? You're going on vacation, having a good time. You go to what you think is a trusted boarding house for your dogs, and 2 of them end up dying. 3rd, traumatized. Yes, he called and immediately placed blame on himself. Is that enough? Is that enough? Let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy world. It's a crazy world, and these things happen, and this is why we got to review this stuff. But that is it. But that is it for the show today, y'all. Thank you for watching, like always. Thank you for tuning in. Now, tomorrow will be a live, pre-recorded live stream as well, because I'm out of town. But remember, y'all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos, because there's stuff we got to talk about. But that is it for now, y'all. You already know I got to play. These videos will be broken down, but you already know I got to play that outro. Peace.